Breaking news tonight in US politics. Former President Donald Trump has officially cancelled Secret Service protection for former Vice President Kamala Harris. The confirmation came Friday, August 29th, from a senior White House official, a decision that marks a significant development in an already polarized political landscape. Traditionally, former vice presidents are entitled to 6 months of Secret Service protection after leaving office. But in Harris's case, her security detail had been extended to 1 full year by then-President Joe Biden before he left office earlier this year. Biden's decision was meant to ensure her safety and security in a volatile political climate. Now, that extended protection is ending, raising both security questions and political tensions. At the center of the timing is Harris's new memoir, 107 Days. Beginning this September, Harris will embark on a major 15-city book tour across the country. The memoir recounts her journey as the Democratic nominee for 107 days, following Joe Biden's withdrawal from the presidential race after a bruising debate against Donald Trump. During that time, Harris became the face of the Democratic Party, standing toe-to-toe with Trump in one of the most contentious general elections in recent history, an election she ultimately lost. Her book promises to give readers an inside look at the campaign's chaos, the challenges she faced, and her reflections on American politics at its most divided. The letter formally ending her extended protection was dated Thursday, August 28th. It states that the change will take effect on September 1st, just as Harris steps back into the national spotlight. Political observers say it is rare for a former vice president, particularly one maintaining such a high public profile, to lose that extra security. Harris's senior advisor, Kristen Allen, released a statement in response. She wrote, quote, "The Vice President is grateful to the United States Secret Service for their professionalism, dedication, and unwavering commitment to safety." End quote. Her response was measured, respectful, and deliberate. Even as the agency steps back from direct responsibility for her protection, Harris made clear she holds the Secret Service in high regard. Still, the symbolism is unmistakable. Harris is not just releasing a book, she is re-entering America's political conversation, and she will do so without the official protection that had shielded her for the past year. The decision has raised questions about whether political calculation is at play. Critics warn that stripping her of security ahead of a nationwide tour creates unnecessary risk, particularly at a time when political violence and threats against public figures are climbing. They argue that Harris's visibility as a recent Democratic standard-bearer and the nation's first woman vice president makes her a uniquely high-profile figure. Others, however, argue that Trump's move simply restores precedent. They point out that protection extensions are discretionary, not guaranteed, and that Secret Service resources should not be stretched beyond tradition. But the decision also reflects something deeper, the continuing clash between Trump and Harris. Their political rivalry did not end with the election. In many ways, it only entered a new phase. Trump is now reshaping institutions under his leadership, and Harris, as she reintroduces herself to the public through her memoir, becomes a convenient focal point. Each public stop will now also carry the subtext of this security decision. Commentators are already predicting that the lack of official protection could either backfire politically, drawing sympathy and attention to Harris, or expose her to new vulnerabilities on the campaign trail-like stage her tour represents. For Harris herself, the next weeks will be a delicate balancing act, reconnecting with voters through her story while navigating the reality that she is once again in the arena without the security net most assumed she would have. The broader implications of this episode are clear. It highlights the tensions between former presidents and their successors, the politicization of norms once thought untouchable, and the evolving standards of safety in an era of bitter partisanship. With Biden's extension now undone and Trump's decision in place, Harris is stepping into her next chapter under an unusually bright and unforgiving spotlight. As the calendar turns to September and the first stops of her tour approach, all eyes will be on her, not just for the words she has written, but for what her very presence will signify. Will this moment elevate her political voice, or will the risks overshadow her return to the national conversation? Either way, the story is far from over. Former Vice President Kamala Harris now faces the public with her memoir in hand, but without the shield of the Secret Service at her side. And that reality ensures that her every move will be watched more closely than ever before.